I was reading through the production notes in this dossier we received, and there's a specific entry here that it stopped me cold.
Let me guess which one.
It looks less like a content plan and more like a medical chart. It's detailing oxygen saturation levels, heart rate spikes, signs of muscle atrophy.
Right, it reads like a clinical trial for extreme isolation or maybe an autopsy report for a magician who got it wrong.
But it's not. It's a production schedule.
Mm-hmm.
We are looking at the logistics behind Jimmy Donaldson, MrBeast.
Exactly.
And looking at this stack of research, I think we need to abandon the idea that we're just talking about a YouTuber.
Oh, completely. If you look at the source material we're diving into today, the MrBeast playbook, it becomes clear very, very quickly this is not a story about a kid making videos in his backyard anymore.
No.
It's a case study on a new form of media that is, well, it's systematically dismantling the old guard.
And that is the mission for this deep dive. We want to strip away the hype, the screaming thumbnails, and actually look at the engineering, the psychology, and the genuinely terrifying business risks that underpin this whole empire.
Mm-hmm.
Because the central argument here is that MrBeast didn't just break the internet, he industrialized it.
He really did. He took the individual creator model and scaled it to rival, like a Netflix or a Disney, but with a fraction of the overhead and, frankly, a lot more agility.
Okay, so let's start with the big one, the evidence that supports that claim. The Squid Game in real life project.
The big one.
I think most people saw the headlines. The view count is astronomical. But the production notes in this source material, they paint a chaotic picture that I don't think people really appreciate.
It is a logistical miracle that the project even finished. That's my takeaway.
How so?
Well, you have to remember the context. Netflix spends, what, $2 to $10 million per hour of content on a high-end show.
Right. And they have unions, legal teams, decades of infrastructure.
Exactly. And MrBeast decided to recreate that level of fidelity, physically building the sets, the dorms, the playground, with a team of YouTubers in North Carolina.
And the timeline was just absurd. The source mentions he started construction before he even had the funding lockdown. That seems ill-advised.
Ill-advised is putting it very lightly. A studio executive needs approval from a board, from legal, from finance, before a single hammer hits a nail.
Sure.
MrBeast operated on pure conviction. He burned millions of dollars in upfront costs, just betting that the final product would generate enough views and sponsorship to cover it.
That's a level of financial risk that is, frankly, irresponsible by traditional business standards.
It's insane. But it wasn't just money, it was the engineering. The detail that stood out to me in the report was the glass bridge.
Oh, yeah. In the show, that's CGI. In the video, it was physical.
Right. They couldn't use CGI because the reaction had to be genuine. So they had to engineer a system where contestants fell through safety foam, but it had to look dangerous on camera. The sensors, the trapdoors, this is industrial engineering.
And then there's the human element. You have 456 people. Real people.
Not extras. That's a massive liability. You have to feed them, house them, make sure they don't spoil the outcome.
Huge.
But the most interesting part the source highlights is the trust economy. How do you convince 456 strangers to hand over their phones, sign waivers, and spend days in some warehouse?
Because they believed the check would clear.
Exactly. Think about it. If a major TV network came up to you on the street and said, "Come play this game for $500,000, you'd assume there was a catch.
You'd be looking for the fine print.
For sure. But MrBeast had built such a strong brand of radical authenticity with money that people just trusted him.
Yeah.
Implicitly, that trust is an asset more valuable than any of the sets.
So he builds this massive trust, and then he uses it to create Willy Wonka's chocolate factory.
This is the other side of the coin, isn't it? Squid Game was about tension. The chocolate factory video, that was about pure fantasy.
The source describes this as a love letter to childhood. But again, the scale is just hard to wrap your head around. A real chocolate river.
A working chocolate river. Edible gardens. Functioning candy machines. The source really emphasizes that the philosophy here is, if you can imagine it, you can create it.
He's removing the barrier between content and reality.
Totally. In a movie, that river's fake. In his video, you can drink it.
But that authenticity comes with a dark side. The playbook spends a lot of time on his endurance content.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, reading the breakdown of I spent 50 hours buried alive,
yeah,
it feels less like entertainment and more like Well, self-inflicted torture.
It is the commodification of suffering. There is no other way to put it.
The source details the physical breakdown. It wasn't just him being, bored.
Not at all. By hour 30, the novelty is long, long gone. The source notes that the CO2 scrubbers were struggling to keep up. His back was spasming because he literally couldn't turn over in the coffin.
And the psychological isolation was triggering genuine paranoia.
This is where the expertise part of the playbook kicks in. A novice creator would just go in a box and hope for the best. MrBeast's team treated it like a deep-sea dive. They had medical professionals monitoring his vitals constantly. They had emergency extraction protocols. They knew that if he actually passed out, the brand was over.
It's a high-wire act. And then you compare that to 7 days stranded at sea. The source makes a fascinating comparison to shows like Survivor.
It's a crucial distinction. We all kind of know Survivor is reality TV.
Sure, there are craft services tables just out of frame. There are hotels for the crew.
The contestants are safe. In the Stranded at Sea video, the source emphasizes the lack of a safety net. There were no producers passing them granola bars. The dehydration, the sleep deprivation you see on screen, it's real.
So why do we watch it?
The source argues this taps into a primal fascination. In our modernized, air-conditioned world, we're sort of starved for genuine struggle. We want to see what happens when the comforts are stripped away, but, we want to see it safely through a screen.
He is basically serving up vicarious survivalism.
Precisely. And notice the production technique. They keep the cameras rolling 24/7. They capture the raw, unfiltered misery, the crankiness, the despair. Then they edit it down to the most intense 15 minutes. It's a distillation of human experience.
So we're just looking for the train wreck.
I think the source nails it when it suggests we are looking for limits. We want to know where the line is. Jimmy is willing to walk right up to that line, whether it's oxygen deprivation or dehydration, and film it.
Which brings us to the other extreme of human experience.
Yeah.
Extreme wealth. The economics in this deep dive are staggering. Let's talk about the 1vs $500,000 format.
This is brilliant because it disguises a really complex social experiment as a simple shopping spree.
It feels like clickbait, but the source suggests it's actually a commentary on diminishing returns.
It is. It's the economic concept of marginal utility played out in 4K resolution. Does a $500,000 hotel room provide 500,000 times more sleep quality than a $100 motel?
Almost never. In fact, sometimes it seems worse.
Often. The source points out that the luxury experiences are often lonely. You are in a massive castle by yourself.
Right. Well, the $1 pizza with friends is genuinely fun.
It forces the viewer to question their own values about money.
There was a note here about the difficulty of even securing the high-end locations. You'd think luxury brands would be killing to be featured in a video with 100 million views.
You would think, but it's the opposite. The source explains that true luxury brands, think Rolls-Royce or those hyper-exclusive hotels, they rely on mystique. They don't want to be accessible.
And they certainly don't want to be compared directly to a $10 option.
Because they might lose. Exactly. If the $10 pizza tastes better than the $2,000 gold leaf pizza, the luxury brand's entire value proposition just collapses.
He strips away the pretension.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, speaking of value, we have to talk about the philanthropy. I gave my 100,000th subscriber an island. It sounds like a fairy tale.
Until you look at the tax code.
Right. The source brings up this idea of a burden disguised as a blessing. Giving someone an island isn't like handing them a $20 bill.
It's a logistical nightmare. You have property taxes, which on a private island could be tens of thousands of dollars a year. You have maintenance, insurance.
So for a normal person, winning an island is actually a financial crisis waiting to happen.
Unless the production team also provides a cash stipend to cover those costs, which they sometimes do, but the video doesn't always dwell on the paperwork. It raises the question, is the stunt for the subscriber or is it for the thumbnail?
That's the big ethical debate the source circles. Filming charity. The criticism is that this is just poverty porn. That he's using people in need as props to generate ad revenue.
The self-serving altruism critique.
Yeah.
If I give a homeless person $1,000, but I only do it if I can film their reaction and monetize it, am I a good person?
Or just a transaction broker.
Yeah.
But the source pushes back on this pretty hard with the ripple effect argument.
It does. Look at the giving away money at random stores video. The argument is, does the motive matter if the outcome is net positive? He pumps money into local economies. He helps real people.
And he gamifies generosity.
That's the key. He makes giving money look cool to a demographic of 12-year-olds who are usually watching people play Minecraft. He might be training the next generation to value philanthropy, even if it is performative.
Because the performance is the engine that funds the charity.
It's a closed loop.
A closed loop that occasionally defies all logic. I'm looking at the analysis of the restaurant that pays you to eat video.
The MrBeast burger launch. This is the single best example of the loss leader strategy I have ever seen in modern marketing.
Explain that for us.
Yeah.
Because on paper, handing a customer $100 along with their burger is a fast track to bankruptcy.
In traditional retail, yes. But think about customer acquisition cost. Tech companies will spend hundreds of dollars in advertising just to get one user to sign up. MrBeast flipped that. Instead of paying Facebook or Google for ads, he paid the customer directly. He paid them to be in his commercial.
So the video was the commercial.
Exactly. The video of people getting paid to eat went viral, got tens of millions of views, and launched the MrBeast burger delivery franchise. The millions he lost giving away cash were actually a dirt cheap marketing budget.
That is disturbingly smart. It's leveraging the viral nature of the content to subsidize the business cost.
It's 4D chess. He understands the attention economy better than almost anyone. Attention is the currency. Money is just a byproduct.
Okay, let's pivot to the social experiments, specifically the Ages 1-100 video. This seemed less about money and more about sociology.
Oh, it was a Lord of the Flies scenario contained in a glass box.
The logistics of keeping a toddler and a 90-year-old in the same environment. I mean, the liability insurance alone.
The source calls it logistically insane. You need quiet hours for the elderly, diaper changes for the babies, entertainment for the teenagers. But the brilliance was the social dynamic that emerged. The source highlights how quickly tribes formed.
But not hostile tribes.
No, benevolent ones. The 20-year-olds helping the 80-year-olds. It showed that the MrBeast formula isn't just about explosions and cash. It's about human connection. It works because we like seeing people work together.
But let's be real, the explosions help. The source breaks down this formula into a science. It's not accidental that these videos go viral.
No, it's algorithmic engineering. It starts with the thumbnail. Bright saturation, high contrast, facial expressions that trigger mirror neurons. You see a shocked face, you feel shocked.
And the titles are always absolute statements. I survived. I built.
They create a curiosity gap. But getting the click is easy. The hard part is keeping them watching. The average view duration.
That's where the pacing is just relentless.
It's breathless. The source notes he cuts out almost every pause, every breath. The scene changes every 3 to 5 seconds. He introduces a new stake or a new twist just as your attention starts to drift. It is designed to hack your dopamine receptors.
It sounds exhausting to produce.
It is. And that leads to the final pillar, reinvestment, the virtuous cycle. The source claims he reinvests nearly every single dollar of ad revenue back into the next video.
So he makes $1 million, he spends $1 million.
Which makes the next video better, which brings in $2 million. It creates a moat around his business.
Yeah.
No other creator can compete because no one else is willing to run their business with zero profit margin for years just to capture market share.
It's the Amazon strategy applied to YouTube.
Yeah.
Growth over profit.
Precisely. And it forces everyone else to play catch up.
So zooming out, we've looked at the mechanics, the money, the psychology. What's the legacy here? Has he actually changed media, or is this just a bubble?
The source argues he has shattered the glass ceiling. Before MrBeast, being a YouTuber was a stepping stone to real media.
You made videos hoping to get a TV deal.
Right. MrBeast proved that YouTube is the destination. He has a bigger reach than cable TV. He has bigger budgets than indie films.
But the source also ends on a slightly ominous note about the future. The saturation point.
Yeah. When you've cured blindness, built Squid Game, and given away an island, what is next?
It does feel like he's on a treadmill that's going way too fast.
The source speculates that he has to pivot. Maybe he becomes a studio head, producing for others. Maybe he moves entirely into physical businesses like the burgers and chocolate. Because if he keeps trying to top himself purely on spectacle, he eventually hits the limits of physics.
Or the limits of his own sanity.
That too.
The I buried myself alive on the moon video might be a bit hard to ensure.
The premiums would be high, but looking at the trajectory, I wouldn't bet against him trying.
So, leaving this deep dive, the source leaves us with this one provocative thought. It suggests we shouldn't look at these videos as just content.
No. We should look at them as a glimpse into the future of how all entertainment will be made. Data-driven, high stakes, hyper-optimized and built on a direct relationship with the audience.
The gatekeepers are gone.
The only limit now is how much stress a creator can tolerate.
And how much sand they're willing to be buried under.
That too.
This has been a fascinating look into the machinery of the internet's biggest circus. Thanks for diving in with us.
Always a pleasure.
We'll catch you on the next deep dive.